Welcome to Rules of Villainy, episode 80, where three new trading card game players quest and challenge their way to the competitive top tables and discuss their opinions on Disney's Lorcana. This week, as always, we'll be discussing the latest news in Lorcana, answering your questions, and seeing what's going on in the latest metagame. Although today we're going to talk a little bit more about what's been revealed. Anyway, my name's Vince. I'm your host, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Phil and Andy, and the mayor of Lorcana himself, Brad. You know what this smells like? Smells like the best team ever.
Is that why you've been sniffing this candle?
Smells like the best team ever.
That's actually the name of
feel-
it.
Wow.
I feel like
What
that's
an
like a Kansas City Chiefs candle or some like.
No.
Not that I think they're the best team ever. I just,
Okay.
geographically, I feel like you'd go into a gift shop.
I'm just gonna say the NFL is dead to me. For folks that live in St. Louis, I think you'll.
Well, yeah,
understand
the
why
Chiefs
I
helped
say
drive
that.
him out. So we won't get into that tonight.
Y'all never had a good
probably
team to
never,
begin with.
But
No, as I was saying earlier, I'm smelling this though because my cat has been having some bowel issues. Let's just say.
now we're going there.
and his-
Okay. Wow. What a great start to this episode, guys. Welcome to episode 80.
I mean, I'm just saying, you asked the question, I'll answer it. It's an open book here at the Rules of Villainy, but we got a lot to
Timestamp
talk
that, Brad.
about. Let's-
2 minutes 30 seconds. Cat poop from a butt.
You got it.
Anyway, let's get into our Underworld news. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Festival of the Arts, which is going on now in Disney World. And at Epcot in particular, there is an event that you can attend to get some promos, the exclusive Magical Places promos. There is the Donald Duck and the Stitch Rockstar. And the other card
Rapunzel.
is, help me out
Yeah.
here, guys.
Yeah.
Rapunzel. Thank you.
They all look so good. Emily's so sad we can't go because we're so close to the wedding. It doesn't make sense to go, but we want to go so badly because those cards are beautiful.
It's not this one, but they have this symbol and this like treatment to them, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Andy's
the
holding up the
magical
bell
places.
from Disneyland.
This is from the
What do
last.
they call that little that was the one they did in
Yes.
Disneyland. But yes, I believe so. This event is going on while supplies last through the Festival of Arts duration, which I believe goes through kind of like almost the end of
Supplies may
I
not
think
have
so, right?
lasted until even
Yeah.
this recording.
Well, my understanding is that the way they're doing it is they are stopping it. So they you can go in and there's like a time at a certain time they stop giving you the
It's like a
quest
limit.
books
I thought it was like a
to
limit
be
per
able to
day.
good.
there. So yeah, so I think there is a limit per day, and usually what I was reading, again, please don't take this as the true answer, but I believe basically by 1 o'clock they kind of have run through their.
You know
And
what we should do,
so
Vince?
You
You should, instead of reporting incorrectly, you should just buy us all tickets and then we can go firsthand and see what it's like so that we can accurately give our listeners and viewers
Look, Brad.
a good description of how it goes.
You know what's actually a great segue to that is today, starting now, you can join our Patreon.
That's ridiculous, Brad. You can't expect Vince to pay for all of us to go to Disney. So what I will do is I will take one for the team and I will go be the field reporter and go to Disney and find out all that news for Vince. It'll save some money. We don't have to send Brad there as well. It's just,
Oh, that's awfully kind of you.
Yeah.
So
I do what I can.
But it looks incredible. Like all the pictures, all the giant
jelly.
oversized cards they have around the park. Like I can't stress enough how upset and disappointed I am that I can't be there for this. But it just goes to show, I think, that in the future they're going to have more and more events like this, and I can't wait to participate in one of them. So it looks great.
They showed it and they talked about it on the Lorecast, which made me even more jelly. But speaking of the Lorecast,
Well,
Vince.
Well, we also, before I will just say Ryan Miller is there, because Ryan Miller is also on the Lorecast. But he
Yes.
was also there at the launch of the Festival of Arts. But yes, the Lorecast, we just happened this Tuesday, so you are listening to this on Friday, Saturday, probably Friday, hopefully, because you're an awesome supporter of the podcast. But is that this past week we had the Lorecast, which revealed some cards as we get into Winterspell. So we are exiting Whispers in the Well, and we are getting into Whispers in the Well, which we're going to talk about more of those card reveals in the main segment. But I also do want to say that we heard more than just Whispers in the Well. We heard about this Wilds Unknown, which has Toy Story, oh my God, and The Incredibles. How incredible is that? What phenomenal news we're getting here, that we're getting a whole bunch of properties in Wilds Unknown. We're at least getting Toy Story, we know, because we saw the cards with Buzz Lightyear was revealed. We see that Woody is on the artwork. We also got a reveal of Miss Incredible as a card in the 2-player starter deck kit that they've got. And we know that it's what's her name?
Merida. Yeah, it's going to complete the princesses.
Merida, thank you. Exactly. So, because we saw that
Pocahontas
is coming here in Winterspell. So real exciting. But hey, you know what? That's not all. We heard about the set that's coming out in Q3 of 2026. And we know that it has Monsters Inc. because that was on the artwork.
Attack of the Vine. Oh, wait, Vine.
Attack of the Vince. That's right. That's right. That's correct. Attack of the Vince. It's amazing. I've made it. Ravensburger has recognized me, Vince, as a true villain, and I'm apparently attacking the cards.
If you look
attack
close enough in the background, like they teased in the Whispers promo for the first time with gargoyles, you can see Mr. Fredrickson's house floating away with all those balloons. So we know that Up is coming to the game as well. So it's so exciting.
I'm really excited. We're going to talk more about this in the main segment about the reveals. So I'm going to kick it over to Andy, though, who did this phenomenal casting with ROV Kirsten, or Villainous Kirsten, over the weekend.
I had a ton of fun. Huge shout out to the Lorcana Muses and Top Cut Games for inviting myself and Kirsten to guest cast the State 48 CCQ that went on. Kirsten and I had the pleasure of being able to cast almost the entire Top Cut, top 8, the semifinals and the finals. We got to crown the next Continentals invitee qualifier. There we go. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. I know we have you here for a reason, Brad. We also we're joined by Enchanted Kim, as well as Rebecca Quests, and my new favorite casting partner, Lorcana Brando, from Lorcana Karaoke. He is such a treat. If you didn't get a chance to see, he was able to join us for a few games in the 1K Infinity event we did. Got to go check that out. He did this awesome bit where he his picture for the casting was him in an Elder Emo t-shirt, and so he did like this intro bit where it was basically like that Gym Class Heroes song where every line is like a different emo band, a different pop punk band, and so he had like a whole intro to the 1K where he incorporated all these little Easter eggs of emo bands. So I was as a fellow Elder Emo, I was a big fan of that. That was really fun. So excited to work with him. Again, huge shout out Top Cut Games, Lorcana Muses. Can't wait for the next one. It was a ton of fun. Huge success.
Yeah, the games that I saw too looked
I hope
really like they were good. At the finals of the main event, like it was neck and neck, like incredible Disney Lorcana there. And you and Kirsten doing the play-by-play is always a treat. Like I don't know if we praise you enough when you guys do it, because I absolutely love when I'm time stamping these and you and Kirsten are in our events in the booth. It's great. Like she brings a great presence to the whole thing, and you as well, with both of your knowledge of the game and all the work that you put into it. It really stands out when you guys are behind the mic, and I just wanted to give you a shout out for what I saw of it. You guys were incredible. So
thank you. I appreciate it. We have a lot of fun doing it. And the only thing that would have made it better was a best of 5. We finished game 3, and I was like, there should be 2 more games. This is so intense and so awesome. I want to see them keep going. Best of 7.
All the support in the chat too, like it was great to watch. I took my whole morning that Sunday morning and was just like, I'm dedicating to this because I'm having so much fun watching this, and can't stress that enough. But go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. It was a lot of fun. It was really great to watch. In fact, I'm jealous. I hope to do casting of the next one. So we need more CCQs because it was a lot of fun. But yeah, 100%. In fact, Kirsten plays a lot when we cast. Andy and I cast our events, like when I, am feeling well and show up. Is that but honestly, like, you're 100% right. It's just really great to see how well and much energy she brings to the CCQ, and I think it's phenomenal. And honestly, I think probably the biggest disappointment about it is that there were some technical issues on Saturday that folks didn't get to see how you both dressed up for the event on Friday. We got to see it on our Discord. I think you maybe even shared it on socials. But they both look like uber professional.
I never saw Andy.
Like they belong at a Disney Lorcana challenge
we went and got blazers,
and it's kind of a shame. That we did.
I saw Kirsten's photos on Twitter. I never saw Andy's, but I'm sure you look.
I'll make sure we get one. I'll take a picture of it, or I'll find a picture of it, and we'll post it somewhere if you guys didn't see it. But yeah, Kirsten was like, we have to get blazers, so we got blazers, and then everyone, basically all of the casters were all dressed up, and we could see each other, right? So when I was casting with like Kim or Brando, I could see them, and we're all like, looking dapper and everything. But because of some of the technical difficulties, we never ended up getting, time on camera with just us. And so as the event went on, we're all just like, can we just leave our comfy clothes on now? And everyone switched to like sweaters and like, chill, winter comfy clothes. So it worked out for the best.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on to Constituents Corner? You want to take it away?
We shall. The first question comes from Nick from Lorcana Collections here on YouTube. If you don't follow them, you should. Lots of great wholesome content with him and his daughter Lily. He's asking, 6 months till the next DLC, how do you pass the time? And he's talking about the North American DLC. There are at least one or two at least overseas that you're going to, Vince. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing to pass the time? I know what I'm doing. I just tonight I set up a franchise event before the next set drops. I'm going to do fun events like that where we're just playing our favorite movie in Disney Lorcana with maybe a few skewed rules to make it a little bit more interesting. But I think that's going to be fun while we wait for a competitive ban on some of the Indy cards before the DLC, which I'm hoping happens. But that's what I'm thinking. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Andy?
Probably a lot of content based work. I know we are working on the ROV team, trying to get that together. More on that to come shortly. Spoiler alert, but I want to try and ramp up the content as much as we can. There's a lot of really cool ideas that I think all of us have had and want to do, and we kind of have to balance that with winning set champs and practicing and try-harding for DLCs and things like that. So I'm a huge fan of the franchise idea that Brad's doing. I look forward to that. Maybe play some of that heroic format that they've been that some of the other content creators have been doing. Really any of that stuff, let us know in the comments if you guys have any ideas, because now is a good time. I don't really want to focus on the Indianapolis Sea until we have all of the sets. It just kind of seems like potentially wasted effort, right? Like if I grind out this Infinity deck and I'm like, Ruby Sapphire is so good, I've played 1,000 games on it. I played 1,500 hours of Ruby Sapphire Infinity in only 2 weeks. But and then they like release the next set. They release Wilds Unknown, and like Woody is like all Ruby cards. Banish all Ruby cards, 1 cost. And it's like, oh, well, okay, guess I'm not playing this anymore. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But you know what I mean, right? Like you put all this effort into something, it could change wildly. It could be wildly unknown what is happening in the future.
I just have to understand that why do you have to pick on Ruby players? They're
right,
already having
not an Infinity though. Not an Infinity though.
Like have you heard the Ruby players lately? They're not happy. All right.
Not an Infinity though.
But that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm going to Australia.
Down under.
I'm doing. But
hope you dress Australian, mate.
Past the time. I'm going to. That joke is never not going to be funny. And the thing is most of our listeners have no idea what it is.
Our viewer retention was a little better on YouTube. You guys watched a little closer. You'd get it. It's there. You could be on the inside of this joke.
Yeah, that joke's like a year old.
Yeah. Not quite a year old. It's only like
that was like
6 or 7
months of last year, right?
No, it was Gen Con this year.
Okay.
Gen Con
no, so not a year old.
So like 6-7 months.
No, not quite a year.
Yeah.
But barring that, I was gonna make the joke that I was like, you're just gonna like cryogenically freeze me and then unthaw me when we get closer to the next DLC. But since that technology doesn't exist at this point in time, I'm gonna do what Andy is. Really work on the content. I'm hoping to do a lot more content too while I'm in Australia, because I think that'll be a fun little thing. But yeah, we got a lot of plans. We talk like like another spoiler for folks is that we joke a lot about Patreon, but we have been talking about it behind the scenes about how to do it and make it more active for folks and stuff. Because the thing is like we want to try to do more events for things. We want to try to give folks opportunities that they may not have, whether it be pricing that they couldn't normally get and stuff. But with all things, unfortunately, like things cost money. And so we're not trying to make this our job, but the support helps. So we're trying to find a way in which we could do that, but also do it in a way in which there's value to the community here, but also, supports our larger objectives
which I think is a good segue here. If there's something more you want to see from us villains, if there is something that you want out of us, let us know. Tell us how we can bring that value to you. Extra videos, hangout, coaching from Vince on which 72 cards to play in your down under deck, whatever it is. Let us know in the comments, because we are always open for suggestions on how to bring more amazing content to you guys.
Just hit me.
Here's the thing. I'm actually better at giving advice on what cards to cut, but I'm just really bad at listening to my own advice. Like I just totally like disregard, what my advice is. But like when somebody's like, do I include like 1 or 2 benches? It's like one benja
or none.
Good enough.
I'm in the none.
No,
I'm in the none party.
None is good.
I think you might.
You know what you should play in Australia before we wrap up this question is the Rescuers Down Under. I
see what you did there. All right, next.
Next question comes from Crash, a newer member on our Discord. They ask, I've always enjoyed cards from franchises that have interaction together, like Sapphire, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Who would be good candidates for this other than the Ducks? The Duck Brothers from Duckburg.
Woo.
Do you guys have any?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this question actually a little bit before we started, and I kind of agree with Andy here that, like, honestly, like, pretty much any, like, kind of pair of characters from any franchise, like, I mean, for me, I was kind of thinking of, like, in Ratatouille, right? I love this movie a lot. Like, if
That
we
card doesn't
got,
exist in the game yet.
Ratatouille, it's going to though. It's going to. It better. It better.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
yeah,
words
you
for it.
will. I don't know what you'll do if they don't. Whew.
But I think there's like some, interesting synergies that could occur. I think we can, like Bell Beast type things. Like there's ways in which I think you could see some synergies there. But I mean, we talk also a little bit about this in our Discord that there's a lot of things that the game designers have to right, and understanding that while maybe you want to have these synergies exist, sometimes they're harder because they're not just in the context of the set they release into a larger card pool, and also now that we have Infinity on top of that, there's a lot that goes into that. And so I think we can see that cards really change throughout the development process. There was, I think, I don't think this is, top secret now that it's public. Somebody shared the Disney famous cards that were the original kind of draft cards of Disney Lorcana. And you saw things like, Friends on the Other Side being
Be
the
prepared or something.
be
Yeah.
prepared. You saw, you saw a lot of these cards and how they evolved and changed to the cards that we actually saw. So you see this happen through playtesting, that there probably is a lot more synergies that occur in these playtesting, and that what ends up happening is that they end up being too powerful, or they break the game in a way that is not fun, and so they change. So I think it's hard, right? Like to design it. Like I do not envy the game designers for Lorcana to create a great game. But I would love to see it. We talk about it a lot, that I would love to see more franchise synergy. But I also recognize that that's a bit of a challenge. What about you two?
Yeah,
I think right now the hot. Go
Sorry,
ahead. You go first.
I was just saying, I think there are a lot of these already, but like Vince said, they aren't all great. I mean, Moana banished chosen to Ka character, right? Like that doesn't, see a lot. There are even like less direct synergies, like Lilo working with aliens, which is actually, I think, better synergy. I like that a little more because while Lilo makes sense to work with aliens, all the Stitch and Gantu and all that stuff, they're from the same franchise.
All hail.
There are also aliens in a lot of other franchises, right? Allies, villains, heroes, these sort of things. But yeah, really you could do this with basically any. Timon and Pumbaa, Elsa and Anna. I mean, we see these, right? I'm saying ones that already exist. Elsa and Anna, they just aren't quite strong enough to really break through and be some of the best 60 cards to put into your deck, unfortunately.
See, I read this question different. When Vince was talking about Ratatouille and you're talking about future cards, I realized Crash is asking who would be good candidates probably in the future of the game. And I'm here thinking about cards that already exist. So I was on a completely different level with you guys, where my answer was going to be right now, the hot item is detectives, and basically Zootopia 2. The entire Whispers in the Well franchise or set was based around detectives and a mystery or whatever, and they surprisingly work really, really well together. It's mostly Sapphire Steel, but I've been enjoying a Sapphire Amber version. There's a Sapphire Emerald version as well that our friends over at Club Lorcana, Jeremy, had been playing quite a bit. Even JDZ was on, I think, at the DLC on stream playing a Sapphire Emerald Detectives deck where, they work together in regards to all these different ways, especially the 4-cost Judy Hopps, the super rare Judy Hopps that allows you to look for other detectives, and then other detectives do this for other detectives and such. And I do like that synergy. I'm a Brooms truther. If you're playing Infinity, I still love playing Brooms to this day. Illusions was fun in set 8, but never quite got there competitively, but did a lot of wicked things that,
like 5
when
of
you
them.
build around 5, there's more than 5 illusions? Isn't there?
There's like none. that was the biggest downside to illusions, in my
Really?
opinion,
I got looked at
was
that. But
the
I thought
lack of
illusions was a lot bigger.
characteristic illusions. 7 cards. There are 7
7
illusions.
of them.
However, that does not include the Jafar, which we know
Yep.
synergizes with illusions. But yeah, that. But yeah, and you say detectives. The biggest problem I have with the detectives is like if you look at like there's like Sapphire Steel can play detectives, right? Like that's a
Yeah, it's the
common
main
build.
one. Yeah.
But then you could also look at Sapphire Steel allies and you just say like, okay, well, there's a million more allies out there. So you have a
Sure.
lot more variety, a lot more options and stuff. So the more broad synergies are great, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if the
I
question
love
if the
seeing them.
question was specific interactions, I do like your attention to Moana and Taka. I forgot all about that synergy there. But then again, nobody ever played Taka. You know,
I mean,
maybe in Infinity, our reveal Taka was pretty good. The 6-drop, if it had Rush, it would be amazing.
I tried it
But
this set in Amethyst Steel.
you tried it this really?
It's a
And it just
Demona answer.
yeah.
But you're right. The lack of
But
rush, I don't like characters that don't do anything for you immediately. Like I don't
and that
you know, wait
Hades
for
range
my
too. So
yeah.
but yeah, that's where you play Scar instead, who has the rush, but a lot less willpower. So
And the uninkable. But I think you're probably
Yeah.
right. He's probably talking about good candidates for the future. Buzz and Woody have to be up there.
for sure. Yeah.
You know, the Mike Wazowski and
Sully.
Sully. I've got to
Boo
be up
even
there.
like yeah. There's
Even
got to be some
Boo.
kind of synergy
Yeah.
with Boo, Bo Peep with Woody and Buzz, you know, Jesse, Bullseye. You know, Bullseye does something
Yeah.
specifically if Woody is on the board.
Reach
or
for the
something, you know,
sky.
yeah.
I think they would try, but I just also like recognize that I think it's a bit of a
Yeah,
challenge,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
To do those things as well. As far as illusions go, there are looks like maybe 13 cards that interact with the illusion characteristic in some way or another.
Yeah.
So either are illusions or do something with illusions. But I still think like that's not
Yep.
enough, right? Like
Technically,
and I
it's
think
enough.
one of this is
You only need 12. 60 card deck. 12 times 4. That's 60. That's all you need. Shuffle up and deal, Vince. Let's go.
Well, Vince plays the 72, so we're a couple cards shy there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, this is why I think synergies are much easier to find in an Infinity format.
Sure, for sure.
Because they can always create new, like it's like all of the brooms rotated
Correct.
out, right? Like I don't think any of the brooms got
None left. No
brooms.
brooms.
So I don't think any of the brooms are left, but they could, reprint. They could print new brooms in the future, not reprint, and those brooms then could be used in the Infinity format to make a brooms deck
Remember,
better. We could get more illusions in the future and have illusions to use.
Remember when we did predictions for the reprints and I picked a bunch of brooms and that didn't pan out?
you predicted almost all of
I did because I'm a brooms truther.
The one card I was really sad for you was Jensen.
Yeah.
I do really like that card.
That's it.
I'll just end by saying though, I think one thing I think we can all probably agree on is that we're glad that the game is called Lorcana and not Famous.
You know why it was originally called Famous?
Do you?
Yeah, the bar.
They were at the Famous bar in California, in Los Angeles, and so I think that was always kind of like a working title. I don't know that they were originally like, this is such a great day, let's name our card game after this bar.
But that's it for Constituents Corner. If you want your questions answered here on the podcast, please consider joining our Discord. We have a channel there dedicated to answering your questions, as Andy alluded to earlier, or Vince. The conversations develop on the Discord before they even reach the show. So consider joining the Discord. You can comment below here on YouTube or Spotify or any of the platforms, or reach out to us on our socials at Rules of Villainy, and we will get you on here. And I'll kick it back to you guys for the main segment. I'm throwing words around like crazy now.
It happens. It is all what it is. I'm ultimately like, I think this might be one of our, like, I say this shorter episodes as we talk about these cards, but we did get a bunch of reveals on Tuesday for the Winterspell. Although these aren't the first cards that were officially released. We got some over the holidays that they released the like Christmas kind of Carol Disney version of cards. So we got things like the Scrooge, Miserly Ebenezer, Reformed Ebenezer,
Donald Duck,
Willie the Giant. So we got a bunch of these. Donald Duck. We got a bunch of these cards, but then we got a whole bunch of new cards. Talked one that I kind of really want to highlight more is because they did this thing that they did at Gen Con where they kind of like showed how the story about how they created the artwork, and they did this with Elsa Ice Artisan, and honestly, like gorgeous artwork.
Twice in a row, it's a Nicholas Cole piece too, right? Because both was Klein and Elsa, and just incredible work. And watching them break that card down was something. I absolutely love when they do that.
Yeah, it's so great. So this is a 6 inkable card, 5/5 Floodborn Hero Queen Sorcerer, shift 4, an Endless Winter. When you play this character, and whenever you play a location, you may exert chosen character with 3 strength or less. And then it also has another ability called Distant Call. While this character is a location, she gets plus. So one thing I've noticed about a lot of these card releases here is we are getting a lot more, interaction with locations, which is something I don't think we've seen in quite some time in cards. I think, hopefully we'll see some pretty decent locations. But I guess the thing I would just ask Andy, maybe to start a little bit of a conversation here, is one thing we did here at Gen Con, and we're still very early on in the releases, but that Winterspell was set up to be a limited focus set. And, I think one of the questions I have is what are our thoughts with the initial releases that we've seen thus far?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wasn't thinking about that when I was reading through a lot of these cards, and I don't really see it. I haven't seen anything that like stands out, and I'm just like, oh wow, limited. That's great. Usually it's the cards that just have like decent stats that I'm just like, that'll work in limited, but if their ability is just like not spectacular, it makes you think like, okay, well, they're only going to be good in limited. But that is really good point to bring up. I also, like you said, a lot, not just this Elsa, but plenty of other cards we've seen so far have like locations in mind, but we haven't got a single location revealed for this set yet.
We've gotten one.
Oh,
we got one over the holidays.
Did we?
The
graveyard of Christmas.
Okay. But we haven't gotten any impactful locations yet. Let me say that.
It seemed like a good one. I don't remember what it does though.
I don't either, and it's not listed on this website that I'm looking
at. It is so. This is it's a 4-cost inkable location. Move cost 1, willpower 8, and it has 1 lore. 2 abilities. New arrival. When you move a character here, put the top card of your deck under this location face down. Another chance. At the start of your turn, you may put all cards from under this location in your hand. If you do, banish this location.
Yeah.
So every time you move somebody there, you load it up with a boost card, and then you can strategically.
So every time you move someone there, you'd have to play it. Has to keep it around, and then next turn you can load it up, and then you have to keep it around again for another turn.
But we've also seen there's been actions and cards that have come out so far that are preventing locations from even being touched, for an entire turn. So
it's true.
I think that's something to consider. We haven't had that before, because locations have always come out and just been vulnerable to any attack. Like Maui Time would come down and take out almost every single location when they dropped in set 3. But now we're having kind of utilities to like, all right, well, I'm going to play this location and stop you from challenging it once or twice and get some value out of it, which seems pretty cool once we see all the cards and if it's worth building around that or including that in some capacity.
I feel like it's almost
in
really
my
hard for locations to be powerful because like they have a cost and then they also have the move cost, and then we can start talking about like what they do, right? So you have to there's maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're going to have something like this, but there's no like on play location. When you play this location, do something, right? A lot of the best characters in the game, when you play this character, it does something. That way,
Sure.
no matter what happens to that character, you got the something out of it. Doc, Demona, etc. So you need something like that, or if you think about like the historically good locations, besides the manor, which was really just a big old body.
Yeah, you just want to slap some manners down and say deal with them, don't you?
But like library or Queen's Castle was essentially like you had to play this, move everything to it, and then do some things in order to get its value like right away. Queen's Castle was a little more risky. It was like, okay, you have to remove this or I draw a bunch of cards. Whereas library, it was often like, I'm going to play library. I'm going to move all of my the characters I'm about to challenge with to the library. And then I'm about to challenge with those characters, and any casualties I have as a result of those challenges, I'm going to get an extra card out of it. So it was like kind of this insurance policy that you could cash in on the same turn. But, so it from my perspective, it just seems like it's a hard task to build a really good location.
Yeah, I typically agree with you. I think it's really going to depend on how good the locations are. I was looking through, I forgot, we did get one more location revealed actually during the Lorecast, which is the Frozen Vine Monstrous Plant. It's a 3-cost inkable, move cost 1, 4 willpower, and gains 2 lore at the start of your turn. Its ability is Persistent Problem. When this location is banished, if there was an exerted character here, return this card from your discard to
Return
your
the location or the character.
Yes,
this card would be the location.
A 4-cost.
Yeah,
and
so
a 4-cost or 4 willpower location just is never surviving, right?
Yeah. So
especially with some of the beefier characters we're getting now. We got 2-cost Iago that challenges for 5. We've got the new 2-cost Stitch that challenges for like 12 if you've got a Lilo in play or something, right? It's like
we got a 1-cost inkable action called Winterspell. Chosen location of yours can't be challenged until the start of your next turn, and it has draw with it. Draw a card. So, I mean, in that, what color is the vine? Is it emerald?
It's an
amethyst thing. So you'd have to be playing. Oh, of course, amethyst steel to do the Winterspell protection on that. That combination's never going away. Apparently,
just think about like because the other thing is like they're always vulnerable, right? It's like who's the 0/4 with like 5 lore or 4 lore that comes into play exerted? It's like an amber steel card. Bolt. Bolt.
Yeah.
So like that's not a bad card, but you like have to play. You have to have one of these other tools like a bodyguard or a chosen character can't challenge, or this character can't be challenged or something. You have to have that alongside this other thing in order for it to survive, which is just doesn't feel great to have to have this partner card.
I will say early on, we're just getting into the part of reveals. One thing is we're seeing the boost mechanic fall. It was whispers only and whispers in the well. We're now seeing that they're moving it to ghost characteristics. Ghost as well. So we're seeing boosts there. But we are seeing a lot more cards now that just continue to encourage the Sapphire ramp.
Lots of ramp.
So we're seeing a lot of ramp cards.
So much ramp that we have a 12-cost Grandma Tala that comes out for 1 ink less for every card in your inkwell. So the quicker you ramp, the quicker you can play a 12-cost Tala that's a 6/6 quest for 2.
And Moana. The Moana card, which is honestly might be the Daisy Duck of this set, because I thought Daisy Duck from the Whispers was gonna be awesome. All of your opponent's ink comes into play exerted. But this Moana, you can ink cards from your discard. That's pretty. Sounds pretty good. Sounds like something I would like to do. Great Stone Dragon, move over.
The Enchanted too.
Great Stone Dragon on
it's
a
an iconic.
Iconic.
The
iconic.
Gorgeous.
That art style. The 3 Enchanteds, or the 2 iconics in the Enchanted that we have so far. The Ohana means family, the Pocahontas, and the Moana. That art style is my jam. It's like the Beatrice Blue Tamatoa a couple sets ago. Like that kind of minimalist art, or just like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not good at describing art, but
like you cut out pieces of like not poster board, but like construction paper, different colors, and kind of like layered it, or like felt. It's almost like a
gorgeous,
like a 2D kind of.
It got this. I think they're calling it this like a paper style art.
I love it so.
It's
really
awesome.
Cool. So nice. Honestly, I tell you, this is the first set. I know we've been building to this a little bit, but they've really emphasized the lore, particularly of this set. This idea of the vines coming up through Lorcana, and so they cast the Illumineers are casting an illusion of
Glimmer.
Elsa, and Elsa freezes.
It's not an illusion, a glimmer. They create a
glimmer. Thank you. It's important to use the right word. I appreciate it. Glimmer. To freeze these vines, and then freezes all of Lorcana, and then we get Winterspell. So I love that kind of like theming here, and it is definitely coming through with these.
Can we talk about?
I love how they're.
One specific.
I was gonna say, I love how they like Elsa freezes the vines to try and stop this evil vine that is, as we know, spoiler alert, going to attack them. And then everyone's just kind of like, snowball fight, let's go.
Yeah.
What happened?
Elsa's doing important stuff. It's just having a snowball fight. Yeah.
Everyone's just like, we're gonna have a whole snowball fight.
Or are you gonna say,
Brad? About this Darkwing Duck? We know Darkwing Duck is being introduced, a new property to this set. He's a 7-cost inkable, storyborn super keyword, which is new, hero and detective, but he has a shift. He has a shift 5. He's not floodborn, which I think is like super interesting. There's something going on there. I know that people in the official Discord have been talking about it. Yeah. Ooh. But that's been the talk for the last day as well, as this Darkwing Duck. Everybody's been shout out to when is Darkwing Duck coming to Lorcana on Twitter, because they've been counting those days down for literal months before Darkwing Duck was even announced.
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 months. Yeah, of course. But the fact that it's a shift Darkwing Duck is really, really interesting, because it's the first one without being a floodborn. And I just wanted to kind of point that out and see what you guys thought about it.
We were told that it's because they're super, right? Or we were vaguely told that it's because they're super.
I'm not 100% caught up on everything, but
there was a discussion so busy with work that in the main Discord, the main the main Lorcana Discord, and then in our Discord, they were referencing it, and I don't believe it was like strictly mentioned, but I think the like hint was that it was because he was quote unquote super, that super tag, which kind of then led the discussion into maybe there's shifting credibles that also, in the future aren't floodborns. But it is definitely interesting.
Well, that is also my thought about why they're introducing the super tag, is because of the Incredibles, because we did get 2 Incredibles revealed on Wilds Unknown on the Lorecast, and both of those have the super characteristic as well.
Question.
So we're definitely.
Do they errata Super Peepo with the super tag? Because that would be a tragedy if they did. Yeah.
It would also be a tragedy if they did, though, because teammate Ryan has over 300 Super Peepos, and to think he would have to get 300 more all to make sure they had the right super tag on them would be.
And they made a playmat. Oh my God.
He's going to need to get 300 of those playmats too.
I think our Discord in unison all was just like, oh my God, somebody tell Ryan there's a Super People playmat.
Yeah.
That is his card, and I love it. I love that he loves that card so much. It's so good.
Well, probably because it's been rotated out of the
Correct.
meta format.
Yeah.
So if it's coming back, they probably will add the super
I hope so.
keyword.
Interestingly,
I'm just going to write it with a Sharpie.
Negaduck, public enemy number 1, is a Floodborn and Super character that also has Shift. So Super doesn't. You could still be Floodborn and Super in order to get Shift, but you can get Shift without being Floodborn by being Super potentially. I think we'll need.
You get shifty.
Yeah, we'll need more. We'll need more data on that one. There is one card I think might be the spiciest, potentially the best new card in this set that we've seen so far. And I think it's Donald Duck.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Duck, Fred Honeywell. Because for one, 4-cost, 4/4 quest for 1. Already not a
fair
bad
card.
stat line. Very fair stat line. It's a little understated. We have 3-cost 4/4s that quest for 1 in a lot of colors, but the 2 abilities that it has, Spirit of Giving, whenever you use the boost ability of a character, you may put the top card of your deck under them face down. So like double boost everything is kind of bonkers. Cheshire Cat, some of the ones that like ink when you boost them. Basically any boost card where you're like, that's okay. Now it's like, well, what if you did it twice? Is it better now? And then during your opponent's turn, whenever one of your other characters is banished, you may draw a card for each card that was under them. So there are a lot of times, like currently, like the card Ursula that I played in the DLC, the 5 costs Amethyst Ursula. A lot of times you would boost it right away, unless you were playing against Amber, where they had the Horseman Strikes. So you wouldn't boost it so that you could potentially avoid that. But especially if you're playing in a Sapphire, you boost it, and now if they Hades it, you get an additional ink, right? Against bounce mechanics and stuff, you get that card back in your hand, right? There's times where you're boosting a card, a card even without doing its effect, just because you think, oh, well, maybe I'll be able to bounce it myself later, or maybe they'll bounce it later. And now, like, the only downside to having a card with a bunch of cards boosted underneath it was if it got banished and you just lost them all to your discard. But now you're drawing one for every card. Now the only downside I see is basically decking yourself out because like I'm just gonna load up these and again, his first ability feeds into that second ability because every time you're boosting, you're double boosting. So I don't know, you play this on 4, you play the Ursula on 5, you boost that, it's double boosted now, and then they hit it with something, boom, you draw 2 cards. Like, that's great. That's great. I love it.
I wonder though. So a question I have about that a little bit, and I think I know the answer here. But you talk about decking yourself out, and so it says here you may draw a card, each card that was under them. And so the way I read that is that because there are some actions that require you to do all or nothing.
This is all or nothing.
So you either
is it?
I don't think
Why
all
what?
or nothing. I think this is you may choose a card at a time.
That would make sense.
If you a card discards, you would be able
up to 6, right?
Not deck yourself out. Yeah.
Usually drawing a card,
because it's saying draw a card. You may draw a card for each card that was
each
under
card. Would you like to draw? Yes. Would you like to draw? Yes.
With each card.
I don't know.
Well, that's the same wording that Prince John had in set 2, and that was all or nothing. Whenever an opponent discards 1 or more cards, you may draw a card for each card discarded. You can't stop at a certain point with Prince John. Why would you stop with Donald Duck?
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to ask Rav Kyle about it. or googly?
Stash.
Because that is a good question. Most of the time, you're going to want to draw as many cards as you possibly can because that's awesome.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Absolutely.
I think this Donald Duck has the potential to boost a lot of boost cards beyond their original thought
like
playability.
Simba?
Other boost cards.
Like Simba? We gonna play yellow green Simba? Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, again, though, like I was not the biggest fan of the Simba because 7 cost plus 3 to boost. That's expensive for basically getting one shot at a card off the top of your deck, which is, I don't know, a Tipo or a Huey or something, right? And you're like, womp womp.
How is it gonna be a Tipo?
Well, if you played Amber,
but like
Sapphire, right?
Sapphire, yeah.
You think about though, this card has some good synergy with some of the cards we've already seen, like Genie Magical Research, boost 1. This character gets +1 lore for each card under him. So you boost it.
You rub his lamp
again. Yeah, so some pretty cool options here. Seems like a very overall, I have to say, so far this seems like a pretty fun shift to the set, and I'm really excited to see more of these cards released. I know one card that's kind of been stirring folks up when they first saw it was this 6 uninkable Mickey Mouse snowboard ace 4/6 quest for 2, has the ability Slippery Slope. When you play this character or when he leaves play, each opponent chooses and discards a card.
Yeah. I mean,
it's more discard. Blah.
It's
you won't find me playing it.
It's not bad. I don't like that it's uninkable, and at 6 cost, you run the risk of them either having too many cards or not enough, right? So
what? Did you see the flavor text?
That's
what I call shredding.
That's good.
There's a couple snowboarding characters. We got snowboarder Stitch.
There's
too.
always one card, that's either a common or a uncommon that I get like 40 of somehow, and it's gonna be this card.
Whatever the best uncommon is on the set, I'll only get like 5 of. That's how it always works for me.
That's absolutely.
But yeah, I just at 6 cost 4/6, it's not the most reasonably statted character, even with the 2 lore. I do love the sort of Merlin Mim kind of style to it when it enters play and when it leaves play. But
give me back that bounce package, baby.
I'm just worried that, like, think about when you were playing You Have Forgotten Me. You were playing that on turn 4, and that was discarding basically the last 2 cards in their hand. So that was hugely impactful. And by turn 6, I have either refilled my hand or I have emptied my hand onto the board, and it will have to find a spot in the curve in the meta, in my opinion. But
sure,
yeah, a lot of really fun cards. I'm excited to see the rest of them get released. Normally, I'm a big proponent of like not touching the cards or theory crafting too much until everything is like released. Just because you get into it and you're like, this combo, this card, like this is so great. I'm gonna throw this into my deck, and then like all of a sudden they release like just a better one, and you're like, well, I'm glad
the excitement of the game, though.
Oh, certainly.
Like, every time they announce a new card, I'm excited for the potential of it. And then, as you said, it tapers off as more and more come out. But the fact that, these new properties, these new characters, and this Pocahontas is a big one for a lot of people. They've been wanting Pocahontas for a long time. Our friend Jamie here in the locals has been wanting Pocahontas since I met her. And that's finally coming out. So there's excitement to be had for all of these. But will they find a place in the meta? Maybe not. But they'll probably find a place in some people's decks just for fun. So really, really excited.
I will say my one critique of this set thus far, and it's honestly, it's kind of a minor one. It's not a huge one. is the fact that they made Pocahontas an iconic, and I think she absolutely deserves it. The artwork is gorgeous. But when I initially look at that card, I think it's an
It's
amethyst
so
card.
purple.
They've been doing that
It's
for
not
a
the
while
first time
now.
they've done that.
So-
Yeah, they have. It's not the first time they've done
Yeah.
that.
It won't be the
Like-
last.
Yeah.
I know. My only nitpick is like, man, come on, like, let's stick with the ink color theme a little bit.
100%.
But I feel like that's very,
Yo,
very nitpicky.
Ohana means
It's-
family, though.
Thing.
Oh my gosh, I need that card. I need that card. It's so gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, and that
It's
is so cute with the little frozen ducks. They got the little ice ducks. Oh my gosh.
You know, I'm surprised you don't really want, as Andy would call it, the Timu Peter Pan, the Terran.
Yeah,
Terran.
He looks like
good,
Peter
man.
Pan when I
Terran.
saw him. I'm sorry. All right, he's got Peter Pan outfit on.
All right. We're gonna be talking about more of the. Oh, sorry, go on,
Gantu.
Brad.
We got to talk about Gantu. He got a card.
Gantu.
Even if briefly, we have to acknowledge
We
Gantu.
do.
As
Hamsterville's
our tribal
accomplice.
chief.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is a 1-cost 3/3,
Yeah.
a 1-cost inkable 3/3 quest for 1. The
It's
only
the catch.
downside is he has
Yep.
an ability, easy target, that says when you play this character, choose and discard a card. So you are discarding a lot earlier than usual because you're getting a 3/3 on turn 1. But
Look, if
Yeah.
we're talking about Gantu, I better be getting paid for this. Okay,
why?
What?
that's the flavor text. It was a joke.
Oh, jeez.
It was a joke. I better be getting.
Ah,
I
you
better be
got me.
getting.
You
paid
got
for
me.
this. But no, I think it's
Here's-
just it'll have its place, right? Like discarding Lilo would be cool. Like that's my initial thought. The whole key to making a card really good is to take its downside and make it an upside. So like discarding Lilo is like the first thing that came to mind. But when you compare it to something like a Rafiki or a Captain Hook is the best one to compare it to because it's in the same color. Do we value that 2 additional strength and that 1 additional willpower for a whole card in your hand? And at the moment, I need to see the rest of the cards in the set. I need to test it a bunch, but I feel like it might not be the best card.
Yeah.
I will say, yes, my initial reaction to you there is that Lilo, but also remember we did talk about that Moana as well.
Ink cards
in
from your
this set.
discard, yeah.
So putting cards into your discard, and you think about a deck like Sapphire Steel, you can ramp quick enough, and this would be a way to,
That's true. It's potential.
To get to, potentially, play this on like 4.
Because, I guess you're right too. Because like that's the other thing with this Moana, you can ink cards from your discard, but you have to have cards in your discard, right? So, which means like you're playing actions or you're trading or losing characters in some way, which isn't always like a guarantee in a lot of cases. So being able to forcibly put one there is maybe not a bad option, but man, especially like on the play, you're just like so hurting for cards. And we already know the 2-4-6 strategy of Sapphire Steel is basically out of cards as it makes it to 6 with Goliath. Goliath. So it's just it. I think it's one of those cards that is like absolutely going in my Lorcana Rolodex of like 1-drops that I'm going to be like looking at when I'm making a deck and stuff, but it definitely has to fit the game plan. But it is an alien, it is captain. Both of those we know have had decent synergies in certain strategies. I think Brad or someone said something about Gantu and Smee in like Infinity, right? Because Gantu's a captain, Smee's needs the captain, and then we've seen a lot of alien-based synergies in this current.
You talked
set.
about it earlier with Lilo in Crash's question.
Yep, and then Dr. Hamsterville is his accomplice. For each alien character card in your discard, you may pay 1 less for this character. It's an 8-cost 5/5 quest for 2. When you play this character, chosen opposing character can't challenge during the next turn. So it's like a big potato captain.
It's making potatoes.
So yeah.
Can I take 30 seconds to spit some Gantu facts really quickly?
Sure, do it.
This
Let's
is the
go.
fourth
Let's do
Gantu card in the game. The third one by Luis Herrera.
Please.
The fourth one was not done by him. The experienced enforcer. That's actually Heidi Neuenheifer. But they are out of the 5 rarities in the game. There's 4 of them now, with this Gantu being the uncommon. The only one missing outside of Enchanted and Iconic is the common. We have every single rarity of a Gantu besides common so far, guys. So I think we have one on the horizon, hopefully, and we'll have a whole Gantu collection. So that's it. That's all. It's really small, but I something I want to check out because I saw Luis had illustrated this one. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he did the other one too. And then it's like, oh, he did 2 of them. So
I did not
cool
realize
that,
he was such a Gantu stan like we were.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
All hail.
All hail.
All right, and with that, we'll get into everybody's favorite segment.
Villain of the week.
Take it away.
How about Andy take this one? You read it so good earlier.
Sorry, yeah.
All right, we got Prince
Andy
Phillip, the Vanquisher of Foes. He is a 9-cost inkable 6/6 Emerald card, Floodborn Hero Prince. He is Shift 6, Evasive, Quest for 3, and has the ability Swift and Sure. When you play this character, banish all opposing damaged characters. And the art is by Randy Bishop. Super rare. I don't know if I said that. He's from set 4, but also reprinted in set 9. Kind of
what a reprint that was.
Yeah, kind of like just like this card that was like, oh wow, he's so big and strong and like, evasive, and look at this crazy ability, but you're just like, there's you have like a couple damaged characters on the board, like most of the time you're cleanly taking out characters. Things like B prep existed, and it was just very not played and not thought of, and not a very useful card until
they printed this card called
Malicious, Mean, and Scary.
Malicious.
Which, by the way, is there something to calling it mean, malicious, and scary? A lot of people call it mean, malicious, and scary, and I keep thinking I'm wrong, but it's actually malicious, mean, and scary. But I've heard lots of.
I've never heard the other
casters. I've heard lots of content creators. I've heard it in like YouTube videos and everything. They say mean, malicious, and scary.
I wonder if it has if it's ordered differently in different
countries.
Maybe,
you're saying maybe, or maybe it's in the movie or something in the song. Maybe they say it.
See if I can find something
I
here.
don't know. Brad can look it up, but I will just say
it's an
that,
inside joke that I'm not a part of.
Is that I've been playing a lot of Blurple because we still got 1 week in a set champs, and I've been trying to get Blurple to work, and we saw at Richmond that this deck with Blurple with Baja, we had 2 Bajas in that final match, and I find that this is a very, very difficult deck for Blurple to beat. I think it's a very much I think it's very much a dice roll kind of thing.
I would agree.
Seeing if you could get cards out of your hand. But
really?
If you have,
I'm gonna let him finish though. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just find that there are a lot of tools in it. But one thing in particular is that if they're able to get the malicious, mean, and scary combo off in the game, and they're able to clear your board, it's very, very difficult to come back.
Yeah, sure.
That. I think in some ways there are other things that can do. Particularly talking about this card of why I wanted it to be the villain this week is it's a with the malicious, mean, and scary combo. It is a mean card, because the malicious, mean, and scary on its own 1 damage. Oh, who cares? But then you're like, haha, Prince Phillip, Vanquisher of Foes is gonna do it. And it's a point too. It's where when you're playing against your opponent, they play the malicious, mean, and scary, and they're like, don't even bother with the dice. Like,
we did a,
you don't
No,
have to do
we
anything.
also
we're just gonna
my
play
favorite
the,
is
Yeah,
when
we
they
need
play
to
the
address
malicious,
that.
mean, and scary, and then you like go to scoop all of your cards up, and they go, no, I was just playing it because it's all I had, and I'm like, oh really?
Oh,
Wow,
wow.
I won this game. Let's go.
Yeah. The problem with it is not only is this card, I mean, this card comes in and cleans up the board, but the fact that he has a 3-cost warded character to sing the malicious, mean, and scary is what makes this card
Yep.
even better, because you can't do anything to that Prince Phillip outside of
Demona.
splash damage or something that like the big
Demona.
Tink or Demona to
Double
exert it,
malicious, mean, and scary.
because you can't choose it. It just makes the whole combo, we've talked about it the last several weeks, that combo is so gross, and he comes in, cleans up the board, but the big problem is the 3 cost that you just he comes out and you watch him sit there laughing at you for 2 or 3 turns, but because like he's like, you're not going to do anything about me until I see you play a couple more characters, and then you know what, let's slam these 2 cards down, sing the song, by the way, so they're giving up 3 lore, they'll sing the song so they have all their ink, and just do a couple of things there. Let's slam the Phillip, let's play a vision, let's ramp again, and find my next turn, and it's just cool. You probably pulled a bend to my will in that draw as well, and I'm just going to have a terrible time for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so I want to go back to the Blurple matchup into this Prince Phillip, and if you haven't already, Vince, and you really want to win that Daisy playmat, and you're playing Blurple, got to give a shout out to my boy DKP. His guide, definitely worth it. Not not an ad, not sponsored, but the biggest problem I have with the Prince Phillip is the kind of like rock in a hard place that it wedges you in with the bend to my will. So Prince Phillip, especially with the little Prince Phillip, but at the very least with the malicious, mean, and scary and the Prince Phillip, it's a 2-card combo. It's a lot harder for them to just have than like B prep or something. But on the flip side, the bend to my will is like a 1 of usually. So like you're stuck in this spot where you just have to like try and decide which one you think they have or which one you think they're going for. But for Blurple, I don't mind the Prince Phillip as much, mainly because you have a lot of other things to do that aren't developing the board that are also still really strong, like drawing cards, right? So instead of playing like your second genie, you could play a guidebook and draw a couple cards off of it.
Watch out for the cow. Yeah, like don't leave that guidebook around.
Right, but you could just play it and pop it immediately and draw a couple cards. Yeah. But now you're saying, okay, well, the bend to my will is a problem. So like there is this like balance where you have to like pick one that you think they may or may not have, and then just kind of like commit to that and say, well, you don't have the other. And if they have both, you do kind of just maybe lose. But Hades and Into the Unknown, you have 8 cards that just like immediately answer this Prince Phillip, because it'll always be sideways and it'll, you just Hades it. So I'm not usually too afraid of that. Clarabelle is the bigger problem in my opinion, because then if they Clarabelle you, especially with like a you're welcome on like your genie or something like that, then you really have to worry about the entire Prince Phillip combo and the bend to my will, because they've just gone through so many cards in their deck.
That's why you got to be careful with the drawing that Andy was talking about, is because Clarabelle is also a big tool in this deck as well, and you have to play around that. It's tough.
It's just
100%.
You're single.
What I was say there. Yeah. This is like just really difficult to because this deck has so many tools to deal with what Blurple does in particular. And it's like you could play, I think there are like, and I'm interested, like I think the DKP thing is, but in my experience playing it, and again, like I'm definitely open to feedback here. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. Honestly, I'm kind of praying for snow so I could get some more time to think about the deck
you think
you need to practice,
postpone it or something?
You need to play.
but is the you've kind of got like 2 pathways It's like you can build a board, right? But then you put yourself at risk of the Malicious Mean and Scary and Prince Phillip kind of line. Or you can try to empty your hand as quickly as possible. So you ramp so that you can try to hit your bigger bombs to be able to answer them. Or you can try to do, what Andy is saying, which is use your, drawing ability as much as possible. Problem with all three of those options is this deck can defeat all three of those relatively easily, right? And the other problem with Blurple in particular in this matchup is that you can give them additional ramp, right? Because a lot of your removal tools, like in the Unknown and Hades, throw their cards back in. So it's like,
and it's always hitting double targets, double Clarabelle, double Prince Phillip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have worse draw than you, though.
100%.
That's the biggest thing. They have worse draw power than you. It's just Clarabelle. And it like, it is definitely like a spinning plates kind of game here. I do think that the one benefit to like playing against this deck is that most of these things are relatively like obvious, I should say. If they play the Prince Phillip, well, and they have 6 ink and more than 2 cards in their hand, okay, well, now I can like, I know that I can play around this Prince Phillip. I can expect it, right? If they are getting up to 7 ink or whatever, and you have a very large hand size, you have to be wary of that bend to my will, especially if they've played several visions or things like that. The little Clarabelle is a great target for Elsa, right? Elsa is one of the best cards in Blurple. And you really have nothing to hit with your, on their board because you can't target the little Prince Phillip. So, the little Clarabelle is a great option for that.
Characteristic.
Yeah. So you can kind of tell that a lot of these things are coming. So you have the ability to sort of maneuver around them, but it does still require a good bit of maneuvering. I will say that the worst thing that can happen to you is bend to my will. I hate that card so much. That is
the worst card in the game right now.
So brutal.
So mean. Ryan hit me with one on Monday night in this matchup. I don't know if I was running Blurple. I was running my Sapphire Amber, but he found his bend to will. He laughed maniacally when he got it, and I'm like, I know he just pulled bend to my will, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It is just a bad card. It's also, I think that's the important card in the bend to my will between these two decks. In particular, like I think whoever
we saw in the game. In game 5, unfortunately, that Sky lost. No offense to Fungus, but I'm a Sky stan. I was rooting for him, and he had that bend to my will, and we were just sitting there watching, going, "What? He has the bend to my will. What is going to happen?" And sure enough, Fungus played like the Clarabelle or something and drew just like a ton of cards, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the craziest bend to my will ever, and he got so much value out of it. And it's a huge shift, but I mean, you can insulate against that not only just by like dumping your hand to the board, but those the Woodchuck guidebooks, you can set those books off to the side and read them later and get the cards from them. But as Brad said, little Clarabelle can be a problem for that too. So like the biggest relief is that they don't always have all of that stuff, right? They have to have all of that, and I think a lot of the times they don't, and you just kind of have to like hope you pick the right one that they don't have.
I will say, I think one thing I would just say as a counterpoint to like trying to understand what the pathway is the Cinderella can throw a bit of a rush into that, because generally you can kind of see what they're inking, what they're trying to go to and stuff. But the Cinderella allows them to, ink that additional card to draw a card.
Secret ink.
It gives you a little bit, that secret ink. And you could argue the same for Tipo a little bit, but I at least like Tipo generally gets played out on curve, right? On 2. So like you can kind of pathway chart to see where that's going to go. I mean, they might do that later if they have no other options, but ideally you want to play that on curve. Cinderella can be a little bit of a wild card there in trying to like chart path, right? Because they could, theoretically you could have a board, granted like by this time, you still have answers like the Elsa, but they could, have a Clarabelle, the baby Clarabelle, the warded
Phillip.
Prince Phillip there on the board and stuff, and it's like, okay, where are we
Yeah.
going? Am I gonna get hit first, or am I gonna get
But yeah,
really screwed on in this matchup
Sapphire.
here? So it is and just like also like I find sometimes strategies where you're trying to empty out your hand, it's like the next thing I know they're like, well, here's a you're welcome on that card, draw 2 cards. Oh, by the way, here's a mother's knows best. That goes back into your hand. So and then I'm gonna draw like 19 cards because I have none.
Yeah,
And I
think it's a bit of a part of it for me too. In the mindset is I kind of tell myself like, okay, I'm playing Blurple, and that is a much more consistent deck compared to this Emerald Sapphire, which is a harder deck to pilot. It is a bit more of a high roll. It takes a lot more of these pieces and these specific answers to these specific, problems that it would face. And so I just kind of say like, you just play like you play your game, you play a strong, consistent game. And there is definitely an aspect of just like hoping that they don't have all of the answers. But yeah.
Anything else? Do we want to talk like move into the artist showcase?
Yeah.
Sure can. The art is by Randy Bishop. I'll have a link in the description below for their illustrations on Instagram. They have 10 cards in the game, 9, I guess, if you count the reprint for this Prince Phillip. 3 of them are Aladdin from the steel color. Throughout the sets, we've had 3 different Aladdins there. David Xanatos from the current set. The Ruby's David Xanatos has been a lot of fun in my Ruby decks that I've been playing. The upcoming Scrooge McDuck in the next set. That the name is Winterspell is escaping me for some reason.
Reformed Ebenezer. Did you read this card? I just read
a lot of text. We're probably going to be talking about it a lot in the future.
I just want to point this out because I read it and it's crazy. When you play this character, you may put a card from the top of your deck face down under each of your other characters. If you do, those characters gain ward until the start of your next turn. So we're boosting non-boosties. We are boosting non-boosties with this card. I didn't even realize that was a thing we were doing in the next set, but I'm here for it.
Play this in Sapphire Ruby and get that under the Brave Little Prince.
He's the Oprah of
you get a boost. You get a boost.
Everybody gets boost.
Awesome.
To wrap it up, we have the knock from the Amethyst color. Prince Eric, who was a fun card, 4-cost uninkable 2/2 that banishes when he gets banished. And from the very first set, the Hades, Lord of the Underworld, that recurs cards from the discard. And like I said, any art that you want to see by Randy Bishop, we'll have a link in the description below to their Instagram.
All right, thanks, Brad. And let us know your thoughts on Villain of the Week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you really should, because we have a ton of fun over here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring that bell so you can be notified of all of our new content. I promise Deck Test Tuesday will return at some point in the future. Once we are all feeling much better and have something to test with. But the meta report continues on every Mondays. Vince is still trying to pull that enchanted. I'm here. I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying to Gantu for you. So we will.
I bet he pulls one down under.
Oh, he's got the. I hear the boosters that they give out in the VIP section are, juiced.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
That'd be great.
We understand your time is valuable, so we appreciate you spending some of it with us. If you would like to follow along as we plot our devious plans, consider following us on our socials. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and the platform formerly known as Twitter @Rules of Villainy. And we also have a growing community on Discord, which you can join with the link below.
Until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of wannabe heroes who want to disrupt your villainous plan. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.